Brumbies season for 2021. We'll have a look at their squad, have a look at their fixtures, and what are the predictions for the Brumbies going into this 2021 season. I've only seen a little bit of the Brumbies so far in the preseason. I saw about 20 minutes, half an hour of their preseason hit out with the Force. It's kind of hard to gauge how things were going based on that initial game, as everyone's still finding their feet, but there seemed to be a bit to like, and the Brumbies maul still seems to be a thing. In terms of the squad, well, the first, I guess, bit of good news is that Dan McKellar has signed on to at least, I think, the end of 2022, so he's extended his deal with the Brumbies. It's really good to see that the Reds have got a good, strong Aussie coach. Likewise, the Brumbies and Dan McKellar. I know Dave Vessels is South African, but he's been with the Rebels for quite some time. So it's good to see that. I know the Waratahs have got a Kiwi coach, but I don't know, man. It's good to see the Aussie coaching stocks are being built at that top level, in Australia. So Dan McKellar seems to be doing a good job, and long may that continue. Apart from that, we've seen a few changes. Shambek Lavui's gone over to Japan. He never really got much of a crack in Super Rugby. I think he moved, was it from the Tars to the Brumbies, but didn't get a whole lot of game time. You still got Ala Alatoa, you still got Slipper, you still got CO. As some of your props, there's Tom Ross, Harry Lloyd, and Archer Holes, who's coming from Club Rugby. But, I mean, the core of those props are still there from last year. Hookers, you still got Falau Faenga. You've still got Connell McInerney, who seem to be the main two guys. They've also brought in Billy Pollard from Club Rugby and Lachlan Lonergan. He played last year, but I can't really recall him. I think Falau Faenga is going to be the guy, and he'll be trying to set more try-scoring records like he did in previous times on the back of that Brumbies maul, but we'll see how they go. Locks, obviously last year, Blake Enever left to go to Leicester, and he's actually just been let go from Leicester as well, so he can't seem to catch a break. Old Blake Enever. Murray Douglas also went to Japan. They've brought in James Tucker, who's played in Italy, played for the Chiefs, played in the Blues wider training squad, so he's been around the blocks a wee bit. Hopefully he's able to settle down for a while. Still got Caden Neville, Darcy Swain, Tom Hooper's come in from Club Rugby, and Nick Frost is there as well. Loose forwards, it's interesting to see Will Miller retired. He's only like 28 years old. I didn't know about that, but yeah, Will Miller retired, so that's a shame to see him retire. I didn't read anything about it being injury related, but he's decided to hang up the boots. You still got Pete Samu, who is, I think, an underutilized guy, at least at Wallaby level, but maybe there's something he's not quite doing. Lockie McCaffrey has left, which is unfortunate, but there's loads of loosies in Australia, so I can kind of see it. Rob Valtini seems to be on a better run with injuries. Let's hope I haven't just jinxed him, but he's finally seeming to get a good run, and he had a big run where he bumped off, was it Cabelli in that warm-up game the other day? He's a big unit. Rory Scott and Luke Reimer from Club Rugby come in. Tom Cusack, former Sevens guy, is still there, and Jerome Brown, who I don't think got any minutes in the season last year. Halfbacks, you still got Nick White. Joe Powell has decided to call it quits because he's got to compete with Nick White and Ryan Lonergan. So when I say call it quits, I mean he's gone to the Rebels. So I guess he's more promised a starting gig down there. So you've still got Lonergan and White, and then you've also got Isaac Fines and Lachlan Alberts come in from Club Rugby. So they got 4 halfbacks on the books, at least according to this page I'm looking at, which is a fair bit, but I'm sure some of that will be wider training. Lolosio is still there as your number 10. He seems to be the heir apparent behind James O'Connor at Wallaby level, so let's hope for another good season from him. Hopefully not so injury disrupted, because he had a long period of the season off last year. Bailey Kunzel stepped up into his absence, though, pretty well, so he's a good guy to have. And they've also got Paistoa is there as well. Midfielders, Ikitau Simone and Reece Tapine has come in from Club Rugby. They've lost Kurandrani to the Force, so that's a bit of a hole to fill. But remember, they got Solomon Akata, who I think, did he jump into the midfield at sometimes last season? He's a bit of a unit. Pulu's gone to the Force. Muirhead's still there. Tom Wright's still there. Tom Banks is still there. And Mac Hansen, who I don't think got any games. I feel like he's been one of those guys. Maybe I'm getting him confused with Mac Mason. But he seems to be one of those guys that's been an up-and-comer that we haven't quite seen enough of as yet. But man, the squad's pretty stacked. Obviously, they've lost some key players in the likes of Kurandrani. Pulu wasn't really one of the main guys last year. McCaffrey's a bad guy to lose. Powell. But the core of the squad's still there. And I backed Dan McKellar to kind of bring in the right guys to fill the gaps as needed. Their squad's average age is like 25, which is by no means... it's not one of the younger ones. I think the Waratahs and the Reds are definitely got younger squads. The Forces squad is the oldest. They've brought in a lot of veterans. But it's a good mixture of youth and experience in that Brumbies squad, I reckon. So they should be sitting pretty well in terms of their defence of the Super Rugby AU title. In terms of their fixtures, they got the Force away in round 1, which actually might not be a bad time to play them, because if the Force are going to take a while to get some of these veterans to gel together, that might take some time. So getting the Force in round 1 away is probably not a bad thing. Tars at home round 2, Rebels away, Reds at home, so it's back and forth for them to bye in round 5. What I don't quite like is they got the bye in round 10. And if these guys go top of the log, they'll sit out the qualifying final, which means they'll have 2 weeks off, which is enough time to build up a little bit of rust. It may not happen, they may not finish top of the log, but they do have the bye in that last round. They go round 5 bye, then 6, 7, 8, 9, they've got the Force, Waratahs, Reds and Rebels. Bye in round 10, so that may not work out quite well, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. These guys are the first favourites to defend the title. If you look at the bookies' odds, the Brumbies are the big time favourites to win the whole comp, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But yeah, I got the average age of the squad from Rugby Fixation. If you want to have a look at them on Twitter, they seem to be putting out some pretty good content of late. But yeah, Brumbies, it's not so many talking points like other squads because it seems to be mostly pretty settled. And the fact that the coach is staying on can only be a good thing. You guys let me know your thoughts. Do you reckon the Brumbies are deserved favourites, or do you think the Reds may give them a run for their money? The Waratah squad's very young. The Force with their senior squad, if they can click, might be a threat. But on paper anyway, it looks to be the Brumbies, maybe the Reds. But anyway, we'll see. You guys have any thoughts? And I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.